Good afternoon. It's Tuesday, 30th July, 5:45 p.m. Going to head over to Capitol Grill in Orlando on International Drive, leaving from South Kissimmee, not too far from Poinciana, Florida. The GPS says this is 51 minutes away. We'll see how far we can record before the camera overheats. I do have external power using the Insta360 X4 360-degree camera to give the widest view, as I've done on recent videos. It's mounted on a selfie stick wedged between the passenger seat and the center console. The camera is just below my eye level, just to keep from blocking from the rearview mirror. So I'll go ahead and activate FSD here inside the neighborhood. There is some rain in the area, but this is Florida and it's the afternoon. You can almost set your clock by it. So there's an exit gate up ahead, I believe with a speed bump in front of the gate. There is no barricade at the exit gate, but there is the gate itself. So we'll pay particular attention to the screen to see what it sees. So we're just now starting to slow down for the speed bump, which does show up. Actually, the gate shows up, but the car obviously saw the speed bump or the gate, one or the other. So it stopped just short of the bump, waited for the gate to open, and here we go. So that's about what it should be doing. I wish you could see the barricades that well, but it's doing a much better job on seeing the gates. And seeing the gate is not totally easy because these gates, because of the way the bars are arranged, are more or less transparent, so that you can certainly see through the gate. I mentioned in the comments to one of the videos earlier that these barricades, at least the ones in fixed locations such as train crossings and entrances to neighborhoods and apartment complexes, should probably just be put into the maps database, much the way stop signs are, because you can see the stop signs well before you get within visual range. They show up on the GPS screen, and if they were to show up on the map when we have barricades, it would probably do a better job of navigating these things. Of course, best that we can see any obstruction, whether on the map or not, but having on the map does reduce the workload. And given the number of cars driving through these things, one would think they could update their own map based on what's been seen recently. This could even work for things like potholes. If one car sees a pothole one day, the next car passing through after the next software update should know about it until cars document the pothole is gone, for example. This sort of cooperative updating of the real world could go a long way towards anticipating issues. It would almost be the way the Waze app updates the location of police. Once they're reported, other cars get asked to verify that the hazard still exists. So this is 19 miles away, and of course it's in the middle of rush hour on a Tuesday. Now the GPS says 45 minutes to go those 19 miles. So I just got a nag because I spent too much time looking at the map. Earlier I picked up my phone to try to record something in front, and almost immediately the car told me to keep my eyes on the road. So as soon as you put anything in your hand that looks like a phone, you're going to get a notice. And that's the case whether you're looking ahead or not. There's a date. That's why this. So we're now in North Kissimmee, approaching the city limit of Orlando. Still on John Young Parkway. A little bit of rain again, pretty big drops coming. Potential spam, I guess I'll pass. They can leave a voicemail if it was legit. Some lightning off in the distance. The restaurant I'm heading to has valet parking. They also have a parking garage, but it's at the far end of the group of restaurants. It's an area called Point Orlando with multiple restaurants. Today I'm here for a business meeting tonight at the restaurant. I'll be trying out a cool device. I'll do a video on this. This thing is called a Plaid, about the size of a credit card, but it's a recorder that will record meetings or even phone calls, and it's linked with an app that uses a ChatGPT interface on the server side to create a transcript of the recording, and then it creates an outline reorganizing the meeting, and finally shows a graphical memory map of sorts, or mind map, I'm not sure what they call it. The transcription assigns speakers, it keeps track of the voices. It'll say speaker 1, speaker 2, etc. And you can change those to the actual names of the speakers, so that if you print out or email the summary, it will show the actual speaker names. I've used it a few times in various contexts. Even tried it out with a patient interview one time, and it does a shockingly good job. And it can do it in 50 languages. It can translate or keep it in the native language. Many of our patients are Spanish speaking, and the patient interview where I tested it for a sleep apnea patient was totally in Spanish, my words and his, and it gave the summary. and the transcript itself in Spanish. In that particular case, the patient was kind of mumbling, used a low voice. I was standing right in front of him, and sometimes it was hard to hear his words, but the device picked it all up and transcribed it accurately. So for $127, I have to say I'm pretty impressed. If I remember, I'll include a link to the Amazon product page for the device. But if you ever have a need to record meetings or phone calls, this seems like a pretty good option. I know there's some apps that have this functionality and just do all the recording and the interpreting through the telephone. I've not tried any of those, but it's kind of nice having a standalone app that has between 10 and 20 hours of battery life and plenty of capacity. You do have to pay a subscription. The basic subscription includes 300 minutes of recording per month. And I believe I went ahead and paid, I think, $20 a month to increase that to 1,200 minutes, which I may never use, but it's only $20. And that also frees up a little bit more capability. But kudos to whoever came up with the idea of linking the voice recorder with AI. Putting it all in such a compact package. The charging cable is magnetic. It's not a standard plug-in like a USB or anything, though you can plug the magnetic cable. One end is USB, and the other end has the contacts that attach to the back of the device. Yeah, that's the connector that it uses right there. But you can go a week or so without charging, and it pretty much holds its charge. So we're now in Orlando, inside the Hunters Creek development, which is a pretty large neighborhood with golf course. Includes houses and apartments. Some subsections are gated and some not. And the HOA, the owner's pay, varies depending on the amenities of their particular neighborhood within the overall large development. When I moved to Orlando the first time, I lived in this neighborhood back in 1992, I believe it was. Then moved back to South Carolina for years, and then finally came back here in 2013. And I've been here ever since. If you live in Florida, most of us wonder what took us so long to get here. GPS says 20 more minutes to the destination. Heading into the rain soon, it looks like, from the looks of the sky. So we're on John Young Parkway, and we're going to take the ramp to get onto Highway 528, which they now call the Beachline Expressway, which will connect us over towards International Drive and shortly thereafter to I-4 if you go that far. If you take 528 to the east, it takes you to Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach area. This first overpass is Highway 417, which is one of the beltways of Orlando that covers the south and east side of Orlando. A newer beltway, 429, covers the west and north side of Orlando. So to navigate around that guy that was kind of hanging into our lane a little bit, that worked out okay. I'm sure that comes up a lot in the training data. but that is certainly a useful capability. So we're 3 miles from the exit ramp, which will be to our right, to get onto 528 to go westbound. So I didn't know you could do that. There's nobody in the right seat, and when I tap on the vent to the right seat, it does activate and lets me send some cool air in the direction of the camera. Maybe that's in the manual that nobody reads, but that's pretty cool. As we get closer to the thunderstorm up ahead, we're starting to pick up a little breeze, as evidenced by the trees and the flags that I can see. Half a mile from the exit ramp, or the on-ramp actually. This ramp goes uphill since it's an overpass. We'll be merging in with traffic that is coming from the direction of the Orlando International Airport. It was a pretty good merge, and it went ahead and got over to the left lane for the speed of traffic. And we're going to exit onto International Drive directly from 528. Traffic's starting to back up ahead as the rain gets heavier. So this is only another mile here on 528 before we exit to the right. I did apply a Rain-X to the windshield a week or two ago, so there's still a little bit of that effect on the windshield. The wipers have not activated yet. And the FSD has not had anything to say yet. So there's somebody calling from work. I'll call him later. He doesn't know that I'm recording. We're kind of merging to get ready for the exit ramp. Somebody else merging on. He's not showing his turn signal. Maybe he's not going to continue on. Now we got the wipers going. So are we following too closely given the rain? Maybe closer than I would follow, but I'll give the benefit of the doubt that the car knows what it's doing. So this exit is close to the Orlando Convention Center, which is a huge complex on both sides of the street here on this part of International Drive. We're only about a mile from our final destination here. Just great to arrive for valet parking when it's pouring down rain. So that's a bit of a nuisance. But at least the valet is right in front of the restaurant. So I don't know if the FSD is going to pull into the valet lane or not. Says full self-driving may be degraded, poor weather detected. Now it notices. So I'll deactivate the FSD if necessary so that I can get into the valet parking. And I think I've got an umbrella. So we're just a couple blocks away from the destination here. Maybe I won't hold that umbrella too high with all the lightning in the area. So hopefully I don't jinx it, but so far I'd say it was a perfect performance by FSD. Driving through Kissimmee and Orlando traffic, now with rain, at rush hour, without anything that came close to need for an intervention. Pull the power cord. This Hyatt Regency used to be one of the two Peabody hotels to go along with the one in Memphis. Still lots of light. So I can see the restaurant with those columns that they had. I'm getting ready to deactivate since I just don't know if it's going to turn here. Yes, it's showing a turn. Valet is fairly full. Let's see if it'll just take us right in there. Yes, it will. So now I can deactivate because we have arrived at the destination. See you next time.